This is the accusation. They're throwing around the word treason.
I hate to say this, but President Barack Obama, there is now incontrovertible evidence that he was the spearhead of a seditious conspiracy to subvert the will of the American people and overthrow the United States government back in 2016.
They're saying that Obama knew that Russia did not meddle in the election, did not have any...
Once celebrated as the face of hope, Barack Obama now finds his legacy under fire, and Joe Rogan isn't holding back with razor-sharp wit and zero patience for political theater. Rogan rips through the charm, the speeches, and the curated brand to expose a presidency wrapped in contradictions, from polished promises to hollow results. This roast cuts deep. The shine is wearing off, the script is falling flat, and the truth is finally breaking through the carefully staged illusion.
No. He gets a glass of Flint tap water, and I swear to God, he drinks it like this. Watch this.
Can I get some water? I really did need a glass of water. This is not a stunt.
Yours, if it's something isn't a stunt, you have to, it's
100% a stunt. When was the last time a president stopped a speech to ask, can I get a glass of water? They would never do that. They would have water ready for him.
Barack Obama walks into history like a man who just discovered his own Wikipedia page and can't stop refreshing it. The problem is every time he hits update, it reads more like fan fiction than fact. Joe Rogan didn't need a warm-up. He came in swinging like a guy who just realized the emperor is not just naked, he's selling his wardrobe on Netflix.
Obama did it, where he repeated that lie about Donald Trump talking about white supremacists, saying they're very fine people on both sides. Let's play it.
Said that there were very fine people on both sides of a white supremacist rally.
You had some very bad people in that group, but you also had people that were very fine people on both sides. And you had people, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally. But you had many people in that group other than neo-Nazis and white nationalists, okay?
That's crazy. I have never seen.
The Obama mythology has been polished so many times it's practically a mirror. Hope, change, unity, buzzwords that age like a meme from 2008. Joe isn't buying it. The way he unpacks Obama's legacy feels less like a critique and more like a demolition with a smile, because beneath all that smoot-hawking charm and presidential pose is a man who pulled the strings, ducked the blame, and now floats above accountability like a guru with a drone strike button.
Absolutely must hold every one of these criminals accountable for the crimes that they committed. They are the most heinous crimes committed in American history.
But yet promoted this idea.
James Comey, John Brennan, Clapper, Rice, Biden was in the meeting. They briefed Barack Obama on Hillary Clinton's plan to, quote, tie Trump to Russia collusion lies. It consumed our national discourse.
Obama spent 8 years styling himself as the philosopher king of modern America. Smooth voice, slow hand gestures, the whole professor on a hammock vibe. But Rogan didn't fall for the cadence hypnosis. He knows that behind that carefully calculated calm was a presidency filled with moves so questionable even magicians were confused. They said he was the cool president. Rogan's take: cool is great until you're using it to ice public outrage while playing puppet master backstage.
Every other president got roasted, and one time during the White House press correspondence thing, Obama went on stage and he roasted Trump. And one of the lines he said to Trump, he said, "I'm one thing that you'll never be," which is the president of the United States. Because this is when Trump was trying to claim that Obama's from Kenya. Do you remember that?
Yeah, yeah.
The birther stuff.
Yeah.
Which is wild. That stuff was wild.
If you're enjoying this video, please make sure to subscribe the channel and hit the bell icon. Let's talk foreign policy, because when it comes to exporting chaos with a smile, Obama made it an art form. The guy had more drone strikes than a gaming tournament. He talked peace while launching missiles like a pyromaniac with a Nobel Peace Prize. Rogan barely had to try. He just listed the countries Obama bombed without blinking, and suddenly that Peace Prize looked less like an honor and more like a participation trophy from the Global Intervention Olympics.
Give me some volume and go full screen.
What you know now, do you wish you had a third term? You know what, if I could make an arrangement where I had a stand-in, a front man or front woman, and they had an earpiece in, and I was just in my basement in my sweats looking through the stuff, and then I could sort of deliver the lines, but somebody else was doing all the talking and ceremony, I'd be fine with that.
We know he wasn't really running the country.
Yeah.
We used to think he was actually running the country, and now they're like, no, he didn't even see those executive orders. That was all.
And remember his administration's cozy little dance with surveillance NSA spying on citizens like they were auditioning for the next season of Big Brother Constitution Edition, all while Obama gave speeches about liberty and transparency. Rogan pointed it out like he discovered a magician's trap door. The man sold freedom on camera while wiretapping it backstage. Somehow in his America, transparency meant everything but his own record. Let's not forget how he turned the media into a personal cheering. Squad reporters didn't just cover him, they practically wanted to be him. Newsrooms were reduced to campaign echoes. Rogan didn't hold back. He joked that the press under Obama looked like interns at a motivational seminar, nodding, smiling, tweeting out platitudes, while real issues burned down the hallway. It was less journalism and more fangirl frenzy. And then there's the economic rebound mythology. Obama loves to take credit for saving the economy, like he single-handedly wrestled Wall Street into submission using spreadsheets and charisma. But Rogan called out the scam bailouts for the suits, crumbs for the streets, and somehow he's still getting standing ovations from people who couldn't get a raise during the so-called recovery. Joe laid it bare: the recovery was real, all right for bankers, billionaires, and brunch influencers. The rest just got speeches and slogans.
The surveillance that this government is putting forward is insane.
It is crazy. And remember when Obama was confronted about it, he's like, it's just metadata.
Metadata.
No worries.
Yeah, it's fine. Just trust us.
Just metadata.
Yeah.
We're just collecting metadata. And Snowden's like, no. I was reading people's emails.
Right.
Yeah, we all read emails.
And there was some reporter, I forget her name, like they were deleting, she was on her computer and you could see the file being deleted right in front of her. She took a video with her camera. I think Ed Snowden should be allowed to walk free.
Let's not skip the celebrity transformation. After 8 years of politics, Obama didn't just retire. He rebranded. Suddenly he's producing documentaries, crafting playlists, narrating his own greatness like it's a Ken Burns series starring himself. Rogan found that hilarious. The man went from commander-in-chief to content creator-chief. Rogan found the hypocrisy, almost poetic. Obama preached climate anxiety while acquiring beachfront property like the sea levels were just a rumor started by Fox News. His climate sermon was as convincing as a diet coach binging donuts behind the curtain. Then came the Russia saga. Oh, not the one with Trump, the one where the Obama administration stood back in 2016 like confused librarians watching the system crash. Rogan pointed out how Russia ran wild with election interference while Obama was either too distracted or too disinterested to act. They knew it was happening, they watched it happen, then they acted shocked when the results rolled in. Obama's version of cyber defense was basically a long sigh and a strongly worded memo, and Joe wasn't going to let that slide. He shredded the Above the Fry Act and exposed the apathy behind the curtain.
They repeated that lie.
Why would you place your faith in somebody who instituted a so-called Muslim ban?
I just completely lost respect for Obama when he repeated that lie a few days before the election, knowing it's false.
Who said that there were very fine people on both sides of a white supremacist rally?
This just shows how desperate they were to keep Trump out, which is wild.
Who sat down for pleasantries with Holocaust deniers?
They just felt like this is a tool that we have, and let's use it. Let's just say whatever the we have.
And what about healthcare, the landmark achievement that turned into a bureaucratic Rubik's Cube no one could solve? Obama promised simplicity, affordability, and universal access. What the country got was a system so confusing it needed a tutorial. Then there's the border. Rogan didn't miss the irony. The guy who lectured the world about compassion also ran the administration that built the cages and perfected the art of media-friendly deflection. Kids in detention centers, not a crisis, just a policy that got a different name. Joe didn't need to shout, he just held up the record like a mirror, and Obama's reflection looked a lot more like a polished politician than a moral leader. And the gun debate, another masterpiece in selective passion. Obama cried on camera, gave stirring speeches, and then did nothing. Rogan couldn't help but notice lots of words, little action, and somehow it's always someone else's fault. He made it sound like he cared so much the laws just didn't follow through out of pure exhaustion. Joe wasn't buying it. He saw it as vintage Obama, emotionally compelling, functionally absent.
I think the best people age the hardest. I think Obama was probably like a very idealistic young man.
Oh, Lord, what's going on now? Who's hollering? I can't even see it.
Who really wanted to change the world. And that dude aged more than anybody.
I mean, I'm getting old, so I can't hear that well. I can't see that good.
Who aged the least? Trump just
this is something that
he just brushed that shit off his shoulders like it was nothing.
We knock on wood wherever we may have wood that I'm in very good health. I just won 2 club championships, not even senior, 2 regular club championships to do.
Joe also unpacked the cult of personality, the followers who treat Obama like a cross between Gandhi and a tech CEO. The man can tweet about socks and the internet loses its mind. Rogan mocked it with surgical precision. He's not a philosopher, he's a brand, carefully curated, endlessly promoted, and immune to criticism thanks to a protective wall of nostalgia and press adoration. The guy built an empire out of vague hope and high-end lighting, and while everyone else talks about Obama like he's the Adult in the room, Joe pointed to the actual outcomes. Divided country, check. Rising mistrust in institutions, check. Let's not forget his treatment of whistleblowers. The man who promised a transparent government came down harder on truth-tellers than any administration before him. Rogan laughed at the irony. Transparency for the persecution for the two, whether it was Snowden, Assange or lesser-known leakers. Obama didn't hesitate to lock the file cabinet and throw away the key. So much for shining a light on government, more like pulling the blinds and bolting the windows.
Obama mocked him. Remember? He did the White House press correspondence dinner, and he said,
No one is happier, no one is prouder to put this birth certificate matter to rest than the Donald. He can finally get back to focusing on the issues that matter. Did we fake the moon landing? What really happened in Roswell? And where are Biggie and Tupac?
You see Trump in the audience going,
Oh, he made fun
you're
of
taunting a psycho.
Yeah.
And even now, as a private citizen, Obama can't resist popping into the spotlight to drop half-baked advice like a wise uncle who hasn't read the room in years. Rogan tore into that too. The detached lectures, the Instagram-level insights, the air of superiority that suggests he's the only adult left in a nation full of toddlers. It's not wisdom, it's branding. He was better than the next guy. Rogan wasn't having it. That's not leadership, that's marketing. And for a guy who once commanded the world's most powerful office, he sure spends a lot of time acting like he was just a passenger on the tour bus. No mistakes, no regrets, just curated playlists and reflections. Even his memoirs are exhausting. 2 volumes of heavily edited self-flattery, each page dripping with that special brand of self-awareness that somehow dodges accountability like it's allergic to honesty. Rogan compared reading them to sitting in a sauna with a motivational speaker who only talks about himself, sweaty, long-winded, and somehow you leave with more questions than answers.
And they gave that speech when he gave a speech on television, and everybody was like, fuck this. And then they it kind of just went away.
It was one of the most beautiful moments in modern American history. People really actually stood up and stopped a war from happening.
Today, I authorize the Armed Forces of the United States in a limited military action in Libya in support of an international effort to protect.
Rogan made it clear Obama's biggest skill wasn't governance, it was illusion. A master of the carefully placed pause, the meaningful glance, the rhetorical flourish that meant everything and nothing all at once. He built an image so bulletproof that even his failures got reframed as noble struggles. He's not just a man, he's a franchise, a political iPhone, sleek, expensive, and slightly more useless with every update. And while America continues to wrestle with the consequences of the choices made under his watch, Obama remains airborne, literally and metaphorically floating above the wreckage with a knowing smirk and a contract for another decade. The smooth delivery and the jagged results, he showed that underneath all the polish is a legacy that might not hold up to actual light. And just like that, the aura dims a little more, the applause fades, and the curtain starts to lift. This story isn't over, it's just finally getting honest.
Daniel Negreanu, the great poker player, was on Tim Pool's show, and they were talking about his shift in political ideologies, and then a lot of it came from when they were accusing Trump of saying that thing that Obama repeated falsely during the campaign. He was talking about white nationalists and neo-Nazis and saying there's very fine people on both sides.
But you also had people that were very fine people on both sides.
And Negreanu, he had heard the clip where Trump said it, where it was edited. He had never seen the full thing. And then once he saw the full thing, he was like, what the fuck? And it immediately made him realize, like, oh my God, they're lying. This is years after Daniel had known it was false. And then Obama's sitting right next to Trump and they're joking around with each other. Hey, pal, I know you're a neo-Nazi lover, you fuck.
Because the truth is, charisma doesn't pay the tab history leaves behind. While Obama rides off into the Netflix sunset, the ripple effects of his smooth-talking presidency keep punching holes in the foundation. Joe didn't just question the narrative, he shredded it, reminding everyone that being likable doesn't equal being effective. From corporate bailouts masquerading as economic justice to drone diplomacy passed off as peacemaking, his legacy isn't a triumph, it's a carefully managed script that's starting to crack at the seams, and that's the part no one wants to admit. The Obama glow is fading, and all that's left is a politician with a killer delivery and a backstage full of contradictions. Joe Rogan didn't just roast him, he held up a mirror, and when the smoke cleared, the reflection wasn't a hero, it was a man who mastered the art of looking right while doing wrong. The era of being untouchable is done, the myth is unraveling. And for the first time, the spotlight isn't highlighting the icon, it's exposing the illusion.